And now for our third category, which is technology. And this question will go to Masa first. How will you help students gain access to resources like Wikipedia, Vimeo, and images when they are blocked by BCPS but needed for projects in class?
So in my time campaigning, I've actually spoken to middle school students and spoken to high school students, and even being a student myself, I go and search up an image and all of them are blocked. And I go look for resources on Wikipedia, on Vimeo, and they're all blocked. So I think that limits our opportunities to basically limits our quality of an education. So to do that, I would want to unblock these important resources like Wikipedia, Vimeo, and images, and make sure that the ones that are actually blocked are actually, ones that should be blocked, that are inappropriate in the school learning environment. But kind of basically reassessing what is blocked and then unblocking the ones that aren't really necessary to do, that aren't unnecessary to block.
Thank you. And Roa?
So I think something super important to realize is that these videos, the ones we're filming right now, are on Vimeo, and it's not entirely accessible to every student in BCPS. So as we're addressing these issues, we're also addressing student engagement and whether or not they're able to get the resources they need to engage with other students, to engage with leadership, to engage with the content that they need to truly get a well-rounded education with global resources. So it is important to reevaluate why these sites are blocked in the first place and how we can make them accessible to students. In addition, we also need to be addressing the digital divide. There are students who cannot access the internet, period, outside of the school environment. So we need to be addressing that as we add on unblocking Wikipedia, unblocking Vimeo, and unblocking images, because there are some students who cannot even access these images and the internet in the first place. So working to make sure that we're being inclusive of unblocking these resources, but also being inclusive of equity.
Thank you. And our second question for this category is, some students are experiencing issues with their devices while in school, which impacts academic abilities. What would you like to see happen to improve access to more reliable technology? And for this, we'll start off with Roba.
Yeah, so I think going back to the whole equity and the digital divide, a lot of our technology doesn't fully support students who experience the digital divide, students who need access to continuous Wi-Fi and to continuous access to those school laptops, to those school devices and resources, because they cannot afford or do not have access to anything other than that. So we need to be improving that. We need to be making sure that Wi-Fi is working. We need to be making sure that the devices that we have are ones that support our learning and that continue to support our learning. So that means allotting money in the budget so that we can improve upon these technological resources, so that our Office of Technology can work to maintain new devices and can maintain so many things that need to be seen, so many changes that need to be seen within our technology, because we are living in a modern 21st century and it's time to address that.
Thank you. Next up, we have Masa.
So even before my campaign, we had Wi-Fi outages, we had so many technological problems that I noticed, that all students across BCPS noticed, and even talking with middle school students from Parkville Middle School, they were talking about how the Chromebooks, they aren't working to their benefit. They're not improving the quality of an education. So I would want to replace the Chromebooks with HP computers for middle school students, but also ensuring that all students have free access to Wi-Fi, basically securing free access to Wi-Fi, both in school and outside of school environments, to make sure that regardless of your socioeconomic backgrounds, you have that access and you are able, especially because most of our resources and most of our assignments are online. So we need to make sure that all students have access to them.
Thank you. And that is the end of our third category.